Hey guys, and welcome back on my YouTube channel. It's your boy Troll. So in today's video we're gonna discuss about the auras. This is something that was really requested. A lot of you ask like how the auras work, how do you farm them, which one are good, what are the materials for aura, etc, etc. So in this video, basically, I'm gonna go step by step by explaining you the dungeon where you farm auras. I will explain you the different materials of the auras, and lastly, I will explain you which auras should you use. Now, it will be a beginner guide because I'm pretty sure 80% of you haven't even reached the aura dungeon, so I don't want to go into too much specifics. I will just make it as simple as I can for you to understand it. However, if you already have the auras, that's also why I'm gonna explain to you which one are good or not. However, if not this one, no this one, yeah, there we go. However, before we go further, as always, guys, please make sure to follow, like, and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and it's literally 5 seconds of your time, or not even 5 seconds. It's like 1 second. The time you move your thumb or a finger and scroll down, click subscribe. You come back to the video, guys. Doesn't cost you anything, but it really helps me out. So please make sure to follow, like, and subscribe. But let's jump into the video, and we're gonna start with the presentation of the aura dungeon, which is the faction abyss. So the faction abyss can be found here on the right side in the dungeon area. If I'm not mistaken, to unlock faction abyss you have to finish nightmare campaign. That's why I told you that a lot of you most probably will not have access to this content yet. But in preparation for it and to avoid some mistakes, obviously I want to do this video for you. And at the same time, for those who already reached the faction abyss, I just want to explain to you how to basically go from there. So what's faction abyss? Faction abyss is like a tower of mark. However, instead of marks, which is basically yellow heroes, red heroes, blue heroes, and green heroes, we go into faction. So we divide the heroes even more. What does that mean? For example, Doom Legion, I can use only heroes that are from the Doom Legion faction family, etc. In this case, for example, Doom Legion, it will be Okmin, Liz. For example, Focus also would be here, Gunner, etc, etc. If we go, for example, to the Eternal Sect, it will be Mr. Holder. Mr. Holder, Ascendo, etc, etc. As you can see, we don't care about the marks, yellow, blue, green, red, whatever. We care about the faction. So obviously, which dungeon you're gonna farm and grind depends on your heroes, but at the end of the day, it will really not. You shouldn't care much about it, and I will explain you why now. So how does it work? First of all, well, like I said, you're gonna have to have a team from a specific faction. Once you have your team from a specific faction, you're gonna start going higher and higher in the stages. Obviously, you can only use the heroes from that faction, so they have to be built. They don't have to be awakened, if I'm not mistaken. So I can use, yeah, they don't have to be awakened. So if you have a carry unit that is A5, but your support is level 100, it doesn't matter. Now, how it works is very easy. It's like campaign or whatever else you prefer. Let's do this one live with you. So basically, you're gonna go in and you're gonna have 3 waves of monsters, and at the end, you're gonna always have a boss. Obviously, the waves, if I'm not mistaken, depends on the faction. Not every faction has the same waves or boss, but I might be wrong. Okay, this will take way too long. Let me just skip it to the end. So there you go, I defeated the stage, and those are your rewards. As you can see, I got a lot of green stones, but I also got few blue stones. We're gonna explain this a bit later in the second section of the video, which is the materials, but just bear in mind what you see. You have different stones with different numbers. You also got special tokens that are from this specific faction dungeon. You're gonna get different color tokens from every single dungeon. So this is the dungeon. Obviously, again, as higher you go, higher tier stones you will get. So at the very beginning, you're gonna receive green stones, then you're gonna receive blue stones and green stones, and then you're gonna receive epic blue and green stones, and finally you're gonna get to legendary. Now, the point here is obviously you want to push as high as you want. The numbers of the stones you're gonna loot are random. You cannot farm just number 1, just number 2. Everything depends on your luck. So we went over the dungeon. Again, it's kind of like Mark of Tower, so you're gonna have those stars rewards, and obviously it's a one-time reward. But it's also here in this faction abyss that you can basically grind to obtain Agatha, which is an amazing hero. But obviously it will take so much time before we get there. So that's all for the dungeon. Let's now go into the materials and aura presentation. So once the dungeon is unlocked, once you start farming and once you have gathered a lot of stones, you will have this little red light here that you will be informed that you can do something in the auras. So let's go through the material first of all. As you can see, you're gonna have green, blue, epic, legendary auras, and obviously as I showed you, you're gonna have green stones, blue stones, epic stones, etc, etc. So just before we go any further, I will not focus on the epic or the legendary auras, because first of all, I have no idea about them. I don't know which one is the best or not for who yet. The auras were released it wasn't that long ago when the auras were released, so it's not like we know the perfect setup yet. So I will just go through the green and blue ones because I'm comfortable with it. And I also know that only, I don't know, 10% of you have auras and can use them. And then none of us have epic or legendary auras yet anyway, besides those who actually paid the stones or have an amazing team and are able to farm higher stages. But most of us, guys, we only gonna use blue or green auras. So about the auras, like I said, the green auras, you're gonna need green stones, and every aura needs a specific number. For example, this one needs 3, 4, and 5. This one will need 1, 2, and 3, etc, etc. Every aura has a different requirement and needs different stones. Now, let's go through the green auras, but before we go to the green auras, just you have craft and disassemble. So disassemble, basically you will cancel the aura and you will get back any material that you use to increase the level. You will not get back your material that you use to activate the aura. So beware. Also, you have 3 slots for the auras, but only 1 aura can be used. It's not because you have 3 auras that all the bonuses will be applied. So don't waste your stones at the very beginning. Just pick one, stay with one. That's it. You don't need more auras. Just make sure that every hero has at least one. And every hero needs to be awakened 1 to be able to unlock auras. Also very important, regardless which dungeon you farm, the stones are not binded per faction. So the stones can be used on any hero, regardless if you used him to farm the dungeon or not. So make sure you always farm the highest level you can with the best heroes, because the stones will be able to be used on other heroes, even if they are from a different faction. It's very important. So before we go into the presentation of the auras, I also wanted to mention that there are 2 possibilities. You can craft. So you can craft, basically sacrifice 10 green stones to get 1 blue. You can do the same with blues to epic, etc, etc. You can also disassemble, like I said, you can disassemble an aura. You're gonna only get what's written here. You will not get the stones, the green, blue, etc. So make sure you know what you're gonna activate and upgrade before you do it. And then when we go into enchants, you have 2 options. Either you're gonna level up your aura. However, to level up, you're gonna need those tokens I showed you, and those are binded per faction. So if you don't farm a specific faction, you won't be able to upgrade your aura for a specific hero. However, you don't like, however, the star level, it doesn't matter, because to increase the star level and increase the percentage, you only need the stones, and the stones again can be farmed by any hero for any hero. The only thing that is binded per faction is the level, and basically the level will increase the percentage of the additional bonus statistics you get. But the star level will not change, like it's not binded. I think I went through everything. So we have the presentation of the dungeon, how to get there, how to farm it, what are the options. We have the aura menu, how does it work, what are the options, what can you do. And now we're gonna basically go into the auras and I will review the green and blue auras with you together. So, as I told you, epic auras, I'm pretty sure are impossible for most of us. Maybe like 10, 20 people have epic auras, but they also have a huge fucking credit card. But besides that, I will show you my auras on my heroes. For example, Okmin, he has an effect hit up aura. Then we have my holder, he has a crit on attack rate up aura. I'm just showing you my aura so you know also what I use so you can understand when I explain why I do that. My Lester has a blue one, which is basically increased direct damage dealt. Then we have my Liz. She has a healing effect increased for heroes below 50%. And then we have my Whim, which has reduced the chance of a crit to land. Now let's go through all the auras. So in total, you're gonna have 5 green, 5 blue. Epics, I think you have 10, and legendary you have 10, something like that. But again, we're gonna only discuss about the green and blue ones. So what are all the auras from the green section? First of all, as I showed you, we have the reduce the chance of taking a crit by 6%. We have healing effect plus 4. This effect is doubled when target HP is below 50%. Basic attack have X more crit rate. So whenever you use your whenever you use your spell 1, you're gonna have the increased crit on this spell. For example, for holder, I think this aura is completely broken because whenever you're gonna counter attack, you use your first spell, which basically every time will have 8% more crit rate, which is really, really good. Then we have every one enemy target increases self effect hit up to 8%. I think that's the best aura you can have right now for any daughter debuffer. Okmin, Melia, Henzoya, Walter, all those heroes that apply buffs, Sigmund, etc. etc. And then finally, we have restore self HP by 12%, X% of max HP when inflicting a kill. However, this effect can only be triggered once each turn. So, for me, my opinion is like that. I would use this one on any support that doesn't give you heals. I would use this one on any support that heals. I would use this one on any damage dealer that actually uses his S1 and doesn't rotate on S3, S2. So for example, Holder, Xia is also good. Yoko, I think, is also very good. Laz as well. So again, any damage dealer that is not a daughter in terms of green, I think this is the best one. Hit, again, this is the best for the daughters, like I already said. Every daughter, Melia, etc. should have this one. And when it comes to the restore self HP, well, this is a bit difficult. I would use this one on your carry hero if your supports are shit. If your supports don't survive and your hero finishes always alone and you try to finish a stage alone in the campaign, I would use this one. However, on bosses, on guild boss, etc., this aura will be completely useless. So again, you need to understand if you prefer campaign or bosses. It depends where you are in the game. It depends what are your supports. So overall, for example, my holder, I could as well give him basic attack on crit rate, or I could give him self restore, HP restore. But again, I don't need it because I know my supports are good enough and I prefer to have more damage, more crits. So that's how you should think about it when you're gonna choose your aura. Now let's go to the blue ones. Obviously the blue ones is better. The higher you go in quality, the better bonuses you're gonna get. But they are not all the best. And let me explain you why. So first of all, we have increased skill crit rate by 6%. This effect is doubled when challenging campaign stages. So again, we are blocked to campaign stages. So at the beginning, it might help you, but at the end of the day, late game or even mid game, you're gonna start to farm dungeons for a better gear. This might not be the best, and personally, I really don't like this one. Then we go, when landing a crit, this attack has X amount of more leech. I would use it on a very specific hero that for sure have AoE damage, because then the leech is just insane. However, if your hero really doesn't do a lot of damage, I wouldn't use this one. I would use this one. Restore self HP by X of max HP after casting a skill. Even S1, your basic attack, technically speaking, is also a skill. So even if you use, for example, Holder, let's use Holder. He gonna use his ultimate, max level, he gonna regenerate 18%. Then, thanks to his ultimate, he has another turn. He will use his AoE attack, another 20%. Thanks to this aura, your Holder will technically don't need leech, and you can put more crit damage gear on him. Same for the aura. You can also use this one on Holder, to be honest. So for me, those are completely, I wouldn't say broken, but very good. Especially, I feel especially if you want to finish your campaign with 3 stars, and I think this will help you a lot to finish campaign 3 stars. Like the fact that your heroes will have so much sustainability that you won't rely on every heal from your support. I think this is amazing. Then we have Victory Rush, so increase direct damage dealt by 6%. This effect additionally increased by 50% targets under control status. So this one is also very specific. I'm using this one on my Lester. Why? Because Lester is my main hero in PvP, and obviously we know how he works. He's gonna ultimate, he's gonna crit everything, and you want to one-shot everything. So I want him, for his first ultimate, have the most attack damage that it's possible. Now, would I recommend this on every single hero? Not really. I think this is mostly PvP. It can help you, but I don't know if the HP leech regeneration or even the crit on attack one wouldn't be better. So I'm not a big fan of Victory Rush unless you have a very specific hero that you know he's gonna enter, he's gonna explode everything, and you just want him to actually explode everything. But again, my Lester, I'm mixed. I have mixed feeling for it, but I know that for my Lester, this is the best I can get from all the auras. And then we have Mastery effect. So again, for me, Mastery is amazing. Obviously, every dot, Okmin, Melia, Hezonja, Sigmund, Walter, blah, 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 should have Mastery. But the rule is very simple. If you don't have effect hit, if you don't land your dots, your Mastery is completely useless. So if you don't have enough of effect hit, you're gonna run with the effect hit aura, but if you consider that you have enough of effect hit, you don't see resistant, miss, stuff like that on the bosses, go ahead and go for the Mastery one. Me personally, I'm on dungeon level 23 in the Dwarven Ruins, and the boss resists a lot of dots like burn, HP burn. So I have to run the effect hit one on my Okmen because I just don't have enough effect hit either through my gear or the talents. So for now I have to run this, but I will eventually switch for the Mastery one. So yeah guys, I went over everything. I tried to make it as simple as I can and explain it as I can so you can understand. I will not go through the epic ones. They are completely broken, the legendary even more. Yes, you want to aim for the epics one. Yes, every single epic one is better than any blue and green. But honestly speaking, you will not get there before a very long time. So I have time to prefer a good guide, to check them out, to make like a knowledgeable guide, either than tell you, you know what, there's 20% crit damage, it's amazing, you should do it. Like that's not how it works, for me at least. And I hope that's also why you watch me, because I give you real information and not, you know, what I think is good or what shouldn't, like future thing. Anyway. Yeah guys, so I hope it helped you. Leave any comments if you have any questions. Come on my Discord, official Discord. All the links are in the description. And yeah, I will see you in the next video guys. The more you ask me questions about something, the more chances I will do a video. So don't hesitate to ask. See you.